Hello. Welcome back to ABI-DOS. Last episode we started the rectangle test, but we never finished it. So yeah, we got a lot of like jank code to decode. From what I remember, it was just a bunch of input reading, and then there's a machine down here that does stuff. So basically, if I remember correctly, what our input does is it takes the first two inputs, reads the initial coordinate or the initial cursor position of the top left of the rectangle, which in this case is 216, sets the cursor to that position, and the machine will begin. The next thing the machine will do is it will read the end coordinates of the bottom right of the rectangle, which is the end of the rectangle. In this case, it's the 9th column, the 25th row, or 10th really, because we start at 0, 0. And it will write those coordinates down here, which are your column and row checkers. Next, we will take the pixel that is required. So in this case, it will always be the pixel that they want me to draw with. In this first rectangle, it's a white pixel. So that white pixel will come in here. It will be duplicated, one to be held for more duplication, the other to be sent in as the output. That output will be... well, its position will be red, which is 216. And then that will be translated into a... yeah, it'll be translated into a... I believe this is row and this is column, right? Divide by 14 for the row number, divide by mod 14 for the column number, and basically the point is if both of them match, you've hit the end of the rectangle. If only the column matches, so this is column number 9, then something special happens. You need to flip back to the original row. So what happens is that the number 14, which is how many bits there are in a row, will be added to our initial start, and then the cursor will be moved to that position. So at number 9 here, it will release you. It will be added, 14 will be added to you. You will be red again, so that will be shifting you over to the row below, which is this row. And then, yeah, this will be entering here. And then basically the same process will occur all the way until at the very end, when the rectangle is about to be red. And then at the very end, when both of these are correct, special things happen. I haven't figured out what special things happen here, but I think this episode, what I want to do is I want to rebuild the machine with a few optimizations or modifications. So yeah, so what I would like to do is I'm going to leave some space up here for all the handling, but for the 9s and 25 here, the ending coordinates here, I would like to have them actually be up here, and the value will be written down below it. And the reason why is because this creates a lot more space down here that I can use. So this won't have to go down and continue into a sensor, you know. And this also doesn't take up space for the pixel input to come out. But before all that happens, we need the two different values here, one of which will be, you know. Okay. So, if I remember what to do, I believe what I did was, I think this, right? I took 6. I think what I did is I called out the next thing. Then I changed this guy over here, and this is held over here. Right. And basically the same thing has to happen here. Okay, this has to be a much longer something. So as to... oh no, this can... oh yeah. Huh, okay. Okay. So yeah, what I can do here is, what I did here is, here value 6 pulls out the next bit, which is the y coordinate, I believe. Then changes this, so this is going to get pulled up. Basically, this one will have to hold the 6 coordinate for long enough, such that the next thing will come in and hit this. I believe it's, how long? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's 7, but because there's 1 step taken here, or 2 steps taken from this position, it's actually a 5, I believe. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, it's 5. Before that though, I need to do some other stuff. For example, I need to set the next conveyor, and then I need to multiply the 15 coordinate by 14. The reason why is I need to set this value to be equal to basically the position of the y row. So in this case, it will be 210 for the correct row. So it will be in the row that contains position 210. And then we add 6 to it, which is your x coordinate. And so you get 216, which is the start of this rectangle. And then at the end, we can call out the next thing. So I believe firstly this is good because it uses up all the space in here. This wasn't planned, but like I very slowly went through this process because I want to make sure that these things fill up here perfectly, so there's no like gap that I could have used. Yeah, so after this next thing comes out, this will be pulled up here and written down to, whatever this is. This will be your, I believe, your x coordinate. And then there'll be another one here for the y coordinate. Which I believe should look like this. Activate this, and then this one will activate this, and then yeah, they'll call stuff out. Meanwhile, this has to be trapped in a loop. I don't know how I want to trap it in a loop, but it has to be trapped in a loop of some kind, maybe like this. And that loop will do things. Firstly, it has to read or set the cursor position. So this is I think pointer writer. Yeah, it sets the pointer of this signal to its value. So basically set the cursor position to 216, which is where the thing starts. We also need to hold it because we can't just throw it away. We know that when we need to move on to the next row, we need to basically add 14 and set the cursor position there. So I believe the 14, I couldn't find that key. There you go. So it will be held here until it is released, and then it will add 14 and then be read. So this 9 over here will simply read, and then the same thing will happen here. Yeah, and then these guys will all get thrown away because we don't need these values anymore. Once the values are written down here, that's really all they're looking out for. These numbers are just to be checked against at the very end. Whereas this number is required to be used repeatedly, these numbers only need to be used once. So once they're used, they can simply be thrown away. And so now, yeah, we have the full setup in about 3 rows, which I think is a lot better than before I also took 3 rows, but I took a bit more here, I think. So 3 rows giving me a lot of space. In fact, it's a bit more than 3 rows because this top part here I couldn't shave off. And the conveyors are all on the top row. Now the conveyors are at the bottom row, it's going to be a lot easier to access them with a blue wire when I'm done. And the blue wire will be necessary to reset the whole system once a full rectangle has been drawn, because I'm planning to do that. And speaking of, once that rectangle has been drawn, there must also be an output here. So I believe I probably want a conveyor here. So this conveyor will be sustaining the loop for now, but once it is activated, whatever comes through here will be going straight into the trash because we don't need that value anymore, and then a new value will come in. So yeah, and then now all I have to do is process this guy, the thing that comes out. So our 2 points that we need to focus on are this thing over here and this thing over here, which are all very accessible from outside, so that's very good. Everything up here will be thrown away at some point, so we don't actually need to worry about that. Cool. I like this, I like this, I like this a lot. Okay. So, what to do next? We can basically follow the same principle that we did the previous machine with. Basically, we hold this in some sort of loop. This is how in some sort of loop. Now, I think I want to try experimenting with the one-time conveyors now. One-time conveyors will be useful because what can happen is that this pixel that comes out can be synced with the checking of these guys. If they both succeed, then the pixel will simply be whisked away, you know, as it usually is. Okay, so what I want to do now, I believe, is this is the x-coordinate, right? The x-coordinate we have to mod 14 to find its x-coordinate, whereas this one we have to divide by 14. It will give us the quotient, which is the row number, or your y-coordinate. Yeah. And so what will happen is when the bit gets duplicated out, well, there's more stuff that needs to be done. It needs to be duplicated out first, then it has to be read. Okay, yeah, the problem here, I think, is that these are very, very constrained in position. Like this one in particular, there's not a lot of places to go after this. I could maybe like draw a bridge over, but that's a bit risky. Although not entirely, because for most of the testing process, this lane will be empty. So technically, I think it's still fine. But in theory, this could just be very, very far away. It would just make the entire input reading process a lot longer if this initial state was like down here and it's read and like the bits go all the way up to be read. I could use that to fix the problem if I had to, but I don't think I need to. Whatever's down here is more important. It's duplicated again. So this pixel right here will be the one that's sending the output. This pixel here will be the reader. So this is the pointer reader, which reads the position of the pointer. Now theoretically, I could use this and add an incrementer every time something is pulled out here, but I think that's going to be a lot harder to reprogram, even though it's entirely possible. And then what happens is that there'll be another duplication, like this. Of course, this is a lot... Actually, it's a lot easier if I did this. I think this is faster. So I don't know how fast this is exactly. So when the pixel comes out, you'll see that these two sensors basically occur at this point and this point. So these 2 points are the important points. So you could shift them back with an obstructor in front. But these 2 points currently, I don't know if I can mark them or not. These 2 points are basically where these 2 points are hit. I think in succession, this one is hit first. So this is the y-coordinate which corresponds to here, and then this is the x-coordinate which corresponds to here. Yeah. Okay. So that all makes sense, right? And if I had conveyors that match with this and this, what happens is that there can basically be a way to make it so that if both what's it called, sensors, if both sensors return true, then this bit is moved into a different lane. And if not, it's moved into the same lane. I believe I can do that pretty easily. So let's just 1, 2, 3, 4. It takes 4 steps to move to the first one over here. I believe if I put this here, 1, 2, 3, 4. If I made this a two cycle obstructor, then this is the exact point where this sensor matches with that position there, right? Yeah. So this sensor and this position match exactly. And this sensor and this position match exactly. So, okay, so what I want to do is I want a single time here. The reason why I want a single time is that I don't want to have it so that if this is matched correctly, I don't have to reset this conveyor. So a single cycle conveyor works the best for me. So right now it'll be off. If correct, it'll be pushed up. And then it will by right be pushed down. But if correct again, if this is true, it'll be left to move forward. So there you go. This is I think this is the general way I want to do it. And then this will be connected to here. This will be connected to here. I know this wire does go to this obstructor, but this obstructor will be empty when this is activated because this and this are the same position. Or they are both, these and these are occupied at the same time. So this will never be occupied during that time. So this, and then this, yeah. And then afterwards, these guys will be thrown away or something like that. So yeah, that's basically it for the sensor. And if both are correct, then cool things happen. If not, not so cool things happen. I forget what, there was something else here that I wanted to do, right? Like in here I added something there. Oh, an obstructor just, yeah, an obstructor just holds it in place. I just want a regular obstructor. Okay. So now we have two lanes. We have two lanes. One for the input. The other one will also have to go into the input at some point because this lane will only be reserved for the final bit, but the final bit does have to go in, right? But both of them are separate because this top lane needs to do something extra. No idea what that extra thing is, but this top lane will need to do something extra. I think... actually, it should be the other way around, shouldn't it? Where this one tests first, because this also has its own thing. Like if this is positive and this is negative, there still needs to be stuff. Oh, but I could just wire it over to here, like directly using a red wire. I was thinking I'll need to wire it over here, then this is to activate a B sensor that activates this, but there's no need. This one can just wire over to here. So yeah, when this is positive, it will activate this obstructor, and then this obstructor will add 14 and then recount. There will be a slight problem because when this occurs, we must make sure that the bit actually goes into the sensor before this thing is read again. For this reason, these two are as far apart as possible in the cycle, in the loop. So I have as much time as possible to do all the extra calculations I need in the final bit. But right now, let's see if I can... Oh, what? Okay, so this is red here. It's red here. There's a testing going on. Because now if these are correct, this will go straight through. This will go thrown in here. And then, right, there needs to be something that activates this at the very end. I believe it could be something like here. But it doesn't have to be, it could be something here. I suppose, interestingly enough, I kind of want an output here. Something like this. I want something like this. But how do I activate this? I guess this can be activated to throw away when it goes up into this lane. That's what this lane was useful for, right? Yeah, I think so. So what I wish to do is... So we know that the bit will go bottom path regardless, as long as there exists a... As long as it hasn't hit the last bit, it will go down the bottom path. And so the bottom path, I suppose, can simply just be any B sensor that reactivates you to send in the next duplication. Right. The bottom path will always be taken when a failure state occurs. And a duplication can occur, and then this process can be repeated. Of course, there needs to be a shift forward. I realize that. I mean, a shift forward can also occur in the same place. I believe I actually put that into the machine in my previous attempt, right? Where was that machine? It's here, it's part of this guy. Oh. Okay, well what if I didn't put it there and I put it like right after this anyway? Would it matter if there were a row change, or would it not matter? I feel like it wouldn't matter because this would rewrite it into the next position anyway, right? Just checking. So this will... Oh, I don't want to send it in yet. Oof. Because this reads wrong. Yeah, this pushes it one forward. Okay, so something else has to read it. It's like this one. This has to read it. But not here. It's more like here. I feel like this still won't work because the cycle is too slow. Like this will be hit at the same time as this being receiving the input. So this will be shifted one forward, yeah. It kind of has to be a bit slower. The issue is that I don't want this to be... Okay, let's try doing this first. This shouldn't be too much. It could be a lot slower because it's now a 6 cycle instead of a 4 cycle. I have to do this like several times, so it could accrue. But yeah, it could do something like this, right? And then it could repeat that process. Of course, this barely works. Actually, I could put it here, right? Why don't I put it there? Because that one's way too early. That one comes like... When I do this? This one... It's not that early. I could do this. That barely works, I think. Yeah, kind of. And it doesn't affect any of the timings because it's the very last step, right? So when this... Oh, wait. Okay, this first has to be reading signal 5. That's what I've been missing all along. So all these numbers feel so weird. But yes, now the numbers are read correctly. So when a 9 is detected here, this will be turned on, but that wouldn't matter in this case. Yeah, this will be set to... So this will be shifted forward by 1, but this will read and recorrect the position regardless. Good. And that process can basically be repeated for the entirety of the... Ooh, I'm missing one. What? Why? Oh, is it because of this 25? Is that 25 doing something? Oh, this 25 is pushing up, and that actually slows down the process by 1. If that slows down the process by 1, or by 2 cycles, this is read earlier. Okay, I see. So how much slower can this get? Doesn't have to be that much faster, right? Like, even if it were too slower, hopefully this won't be read. Yeah, this won't shift too late. I think we're fine. Oh, we're not fine. We missed a lot. Wait, why did we miss so much now? So this is... Oh, it's because this is red, then this is shifted by 1. Okay. So the timing just doesn't work out here. This is too fast. Okay. So is this ever actually going to work? If I fixed it to do that. It works except in the final row, I think. Yeah. I think it works in except in the final row once again. So the same problem, it works in everything but the final row. Whoop, just kidding. What? Wait, am I tripping? What? Isn't this... Why isn't this... Oh, it's because of this not being read. Ah, of course. There you go. And then now it won't be read in the final because this will be read. This will be pushed wrongly again. Oh no, this is fine. Wow, this actually does work. Oh, because... Okay. Because this is... Because this longer path also delays this. Exactly. This is delayed by the longer path, so okay, I get it. But this won't work at all, right? This will be shifted off by 1. Yeah. Okay, that's fine. We'll take it for now. So this will basically work all the way to the final bit. And then the final bit is where it starts to get interesting. So this is the final bit. The final bit is where it gets interesting, where both things are correct. Sorry, what? Did something go wrong? Did the timing go wrong? Or did I... Correct? Oh... It's not here, it's here. Right, I thought because it's these two that were marked, I thought shifting up by 1 would... No, it's there, okay. So I can just do this, maybe? Like this? Let's try that. I think it still works for now because, yeah, this top part is never used yet. But this will push you up to the top path. Of course, this would be red, and this will shift you over, so this is definitely bad. Okay, definitely bad. Or the thing is, if this is right, couldn't this be just set to open when passing through this gap? Let's just check this out. Let's just check this out. So couldn't this bit over here at this point or at this point be set to open this gate? Like, let's say I had this sort of thing. I use a blue wire here because I can't use a red wire. Will this not work? It works. And this will get thrown in correctly. This should also do other stuff. Okay, but other stuff is a little bit wonky, right? The timings are all very specific. If I shifted one thing, I want to shift everything. And I do want to shift one thing right now. I want to shift the position of this guy. I'm gonna have to retime everything. Okay, what if I did this? Oh, no. This B sense has to be hit regardless. So let's say I did this, maybe? The timing might be a bit wonky if I do. But let's say we do this. Let's start timing from the start of the cycle. So this will... Okay. The next thing I want to test is at the end of the row. What happens when there's a shift? Doesn't matter, right? Wait, no, there is a shift. Wait, why? When was there a shift? At what point was there a shift? 2:30? Oh, this is hit late? What the heck? Can I reread that? Or is this 2:16 read early? Okay. So this 170 is read again. This guy is released. You are released. You have to be released before this hits. But you're not released at the same time. And by order of operations, I'm pretty sure this happens later, which is why... Okay. What if I added 13? I know I'm delving into very jank territory now, but 13 would fit. I don't know if 13 fits perfectly, because 13 might, you know, set the next cycle to be wrong. But 13 would put it in the right position. If I then went to the next cycle, would it then put you in the right position again? It would not. See, at this point it will be off by 1. Why is it off by 1? Shouldn't it not be off by 1? Ah, why'd I do that? Oh, because it reads 13 from you and not 13 from the position. Oh, okay, I see. So it should be 14. It's just that the timings now don't really work out. Oof, the timings don't work out. What do I do? Like all the timings here work out. They work out pretty well. It's just the last one doesn't work out because this should be a lot later. It should be even later than it already is. But I don't want it to be later than it already is. It's gonna make things super duper late, super duper slow. So yeah, right now they merge. If this were earlier... Oh, if this were earlier, that would be better, right? Because the reading should come after. Yeah. But I can't put it earlier. If I did put it earlier, it wouldn't work. It would shift by 1. Yeah. Only real way I can fix this is by subtracting by 1 from here at some point. That's so jank. Maybe I could try that. Let's say I subtract 1 from here at some point. Does that fix things? What? Oh, did it? Oh, then you flip this guy. There you go. So we read 215 now. But then if we read 215 and we add 14, we start off here. I don't know if that's good or not. So like, yeah, it's all read correctly at this point. But when I then go to the next cycle, will I be read wrong? I'll be read wrong, right? Yeah. No, I'll be read right. Oh, but there'll be 1 extra bit here. This bit was supposed to be down here, I think. So it is read wrong. It's just read right and then shifted back by 1. So it's read right for the next bit. Okay, I don't want to do that then. Let's not do that. Let's see if I can try and tweak the time a little bit, or if does this just not work out? Does this perfectly not work out? Or you know, yeah, this can't be any slower. This can be slower maybe, but isn't this as slow as it is already? Not necessarily. I could make this a 6 cycle. That would make things super duper slow, but only once every row. Where did this go? This should go up first. So about here, it's read wrong by 1. Why is it read wrong by 1? Oh, right, because this thing is... Okay. So I shift this back to its original position where it did work. This works. Okay. And the next point, this is read first before this, so that's good. And this is put into the system. Good. And this should read correctly for the rest of the cycle. Yes. At the very end, this thing gets pushed up into the top row, and the top row... Well, the top row now no longer works well. Although I could make it be here, and then it would still work, I think. So this will now merge with this, and then they will throw it away. The last bit is here. They should also throw you away. So like, I guess this. And then this can be something here that throws it away. Like that. Of course, there must be an A. Okay, so what? Oh, but this might not work at the same time as this, will it? Oh no, it will, because this came from the release of this, yeah. So it works perfectly, throw you away. So everything's thrown away at this point. Perfect. Almost. I think this can start the process over again. So here I think I want an A sensor to reset all of these guys. So I think I want to call this out and then have an A sensor to reset all of these. These guys, I think. So at the very end, this will be released to end the cycle. You'll call everything out, and then you'll have an A sensor here to reset the entire process just in time for the entire thing to start over again. Yeah. The wiring is a mess, but I think it works. It does work. Nice. Let's get rid of all the breakpoints. I think all the breakpoints are gone. So this works. The wiring is absolutely horrendous, but it works. Happy enough with that. So let's run it first, and then we'll copy it over and we'll try and improve it. So I love that this starts off with some incorrect bits. Like you can see there's an incorrect bit here when it's being read as blue, because eventually there'll be a green rectangle that draws over it. But at some point, eventually, you're gonna get something good out of it. I like that. Cool. Nice. Okay, what are our original stats? Hey, I completed the rectangle test. Nice. The original stats are 35, 18 in terms of icons used. We'll use a lot more icons for some reason. And then exactly average in my space usage. But really, really bad in terms of cycles. I understand why. Alright, let's see if I can improve this in terms of space maybe. I think I'm a lot better at improving space than I am at improving cycles. I think to make a big cycles change, you're gonna have to like radically do stuff. You have to do stuff pretty radically. Make some big changes. So like obviously I can make this I think a bit better. I think. I think for starters, there can just be a blue wire that goes in here that ignores all the wires. I think that does exactly the same job. Just kidding. It does not, apparently. I don't know what I did wrong there. What? Oh, is this sensor also? Okay. Can I control Y this? I can. So this B sensor also has to do that. And this should do the exact same thing. For quite a lot less space. That's good, I've improved on space. Okay, in terms of cycles, I don't think this can be fixed. I think it can be fixed if I started here, but that just messes things up, I think, in terms of the cycle. Unless you actually do start from one lower. Which could be done, like... I think if I did this... it will break. Let's start with test case 1, 0. So it would break because the rectangle will be started one space over. I don't know how this will change the shape. That's how it changes the shape. But I can always fix that by simply having a one-time backward over here. I think that resets the entire thing. No! It has to be after the U. Oh, okay. If it's after the reader, then that's gonna be a problem. Because I don't want it to be iterative. If it's iterative, I think it's gonna fail. Yeah. 25? Why is it reading 25? What? Why is it reading 25? Oh, it's because this is pushed back by... okay. This should make things look slightly better, but... clearly it's not gonna work. It's gonna work for like... yeah, it's gonna work for like the first row. And then it'll keep pushing stuff back. I don't want that. Yeah, okay, so definitely things are gonna be weird. I don't think I can fix this. Just get rid of it and then have things run regularly. Things did not run regularly. Why? Something didn't run regularly. What did I shift? Oh, I made this. I made this whole thing. Okay. Back to the usual. Okay. So how do I save here? Honestly, I don't have much else I can do. I think I can maybe like optimize these a little bit. But the wiring in all other places is basically, I wouldn't say perfect, but It's as good as it gets, I think. Not necessarily. But it's about as good as it gets. Okay, so definitely I can start by having you be here. I think you can follow the exact pattern. That saves a bit of space. I know it like very slightly overlaps with that, but that shouldn't be a problem, right? Yeah, it never ever clashes with this because this is a one-time thing. It either is unlikely to clash or will never clash, so happy enough with that. And then we can just merge these two to save on one recycler. We can probably save on recyclers here as well, but they're too far apart. I suppose if I line them up alongside the wires, that will be fine, right? Then they could share. Like this. I don't want this blue. Well, the blue thing is only a one-time thing as well. This actually only links to a one-time thing. So theoretically, I could also merge it over here and then save space. I think that also works. Yeah, it actually still works. Okay, which now means I can get rid of you guys, and then you guys can just be thrown into the same recycle, which can be anywhere really. Like, in fact, I could probably like have this line work even better. So this will go up by default. The conveyor needs to turn downwards and then be off, like this. That should still work perfectly with a ton of space and cycle upgrades, improvements. And of course, to make things look nice, I'm pretty sure I can also line this blue wire alongside this thing just to make it very regular looking. And honestly, if that's the case, then this should be able to align with this one-time thing. Oh, but yeah, this guy needs to wrap around this, which is the big problem here for space. But otherwise, it should be perfect. It still works perfectly, and it looks a lot cleaner. So I am happy that I made it look cleaner. It's great. This one I can move over to here to save one bit of space. It's not much, but it works. Anywhere else I can save space on? Technically, yes. Technically, I'm pretty sure I can do... what can I do? Not sure I can do much, but I can do something. I believe actually I can shift this blue wire over by one. If I can shift this blue wire over one, I can shift this blue wire over as well, and that would save some space. Perfect. I think that's all I'm willing to do at this point. Yeah, that's all I'm willing to do at this point. Okay, run it, and then we'll see what improvements I've made. I'm pretty sure I made 0 cycle improvements, but that's alright. Okay, 4403. It's still the exact same value, I think. Yeah, but I have 2 icons saved, and then the space saved I think is a total of 16 space, so jumped up by 20%. Cool, I do like these new stats. Of course, cycles is still one thing, but cycles generally just requires a very big change to fix. So I'm probably not going to do that right now. I'm going to call this level done with. The final thing I want to check is how the bonus challenge looks like. Pretty big, pretty big. Probably can't fit my solution there. Yeah, but that's okay. Alright, so I think that's going to be it for this episode. Next episode we'll move on to logic board and we'll see what we can do there. Until then though, hope you guys enjoyed the video. See you guys next time. Bye bye.